What's up? Well, fucking hell.
I think I'm pretty when I'm standing top the bright city, and I'll take your hand and pick you up and keep you there so you can see it. So long as you're alive again, I promise I will take you there. Take you dancing on.
I never said I'd lie and wait forever. If I did, we'd be together.
We lollygagged too long. We lollygagged too long. We have like a 40-minute session today. And instead of doing it in the morning, I was like, oh, let me document my training crew. I'll get to it. Famous last words. Now it's 5:30 and we're getting to it. Fine. But at least we're getting to it. We're just gonna need a little bit of help. A little pre-workout. Not a lot, just a little bit. A little bit. Just a little bit. What's that song? Just a little bit. A little bit. La, 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 la. Licky Lee. Drake. So Far Gone. Not sure if I'm gonna dress correctly. Have a long sleeve on, then have like a little curly piece on underneath. This one, just basically doing nothing. Goldwyn jacket, and then these again. Good old Saucony Azura, Endorphin Azura or Azura Endorphin? Hold on. Lollygagging. You ever lollygag? Sometimes I think it's important to lollygag, but okay, it just says Endorphin series. I think it's just the Azura. Nope, right here, Endorphin Azura. Got it. I've run in them one other time, so I figured why not run in them again. And I think it's gonna get a little dark out, so I feel like a lighter shoe tone will kind of help me stand out. I'll basically be on the sidewalk and then the National Mall. So I pretty much like stay out of roads. Just like 40 minutes on the clock. That's it. Also, question. How many times do you use your bottle before you put it in the dishwasher? Honest answer, folks. How many times? It's okay, no one's here to judge. Where's my watch? I do not remember the last time I charged this. Gotta love it. How many times, folks? How many times? I'm not gonna share mine, but it's probably embarrassing. Do we need a thicker? What's the temperature? 21. Ooh, 21. Can you do this? Let's get it thicker. That'll do the trick. A little bit thicker. Need some AirPods. Am I just throwing everything? Just get in here and just throw it. Found him. Found him. What did they say? So it was the last place you looked? Okay. Let me tie my shoes and go. What's up? I feel like we haven't done much this week, but we actually have. It's Friday. It's like coming up on 2 p.m. And earlier this week, I got approached by a brand about a story on me, which is, I don't know how I feel about it yet because, whoa. What was I saying? Yeah, this story, I think it's about me. Or at least that's the way it was kind of presented. Which one is very flattering. But two, I'm not sure how I feel about it yet because I've never like this medium and like this dialogue is, I think, about as much of a me at the forefront of storytelling that I really want to, I don't say handle, but over time, I think I've wanted to be less at the forefront of a story. I have this analogy that I use where like I've never really been one to want my name at the top of a credit line. I think I'm more suited to be like guy on Barstool number 3. And I know that sounds a little bit silly, but I think over time I just became so enthralled by telling other people's stories that I got really comfortable not telling my own, or at least being the one who got to tell my story myself, whether that's like this medium or Substack. I think it's just like, it's not a control thing. I think it's just a matter of like, I'm not too exactly sure how to phrase it, and I don't want to phrase it in a way that sounds like entitled, but it's like, it's this idea of maybe looking at the amount of like airtime that we all are given and asking myself like, do I want other people's airtime to be consumed with me? So yeah, I don't know. But then I think I've talked about this, but my buddy Dre last year while I was in Chicago had this really sweet sentiment where he asked about, you know, I spend all this time telling other people's story, like who's gonna tell my story? And that still like lingers with me. So maybe this is kind of like, you know, somebody else felt that way. So I'm very flattered. I'm grateful, but we'll see how the call goes. Yeah, it's with a brand that I like. It's with a brand that I've worked with in the past, and telling other people's stories. So it's nice to know that they want to tell your story, my story. You know what I mean? But we gotta pour some coffee, get ready, and grab a seat. All right. Well, I gotta stop doing that. It's my eye. That call went really well, actually. I don't know when anything will come of it. Certainly not overnight, but it was cool. I think we'll end up doing it. Stepping out for a workout. It's currently snow flurrying. I don't know if that's an expression, but that's what it's doing. About 5.25 on the plan for today. 2-mile warm up, some 1K repeats, jogs in between, mile cool down. Again, don't have access to a track, but the paths along the reflecting pool in DC are dry. So we'll try to go out there. Need some energy today. Push this workout from yesterday to today, swap day off from today to yesterday, but do have a 12-mile run tomorrow, and it's supposed to be really cold. So, you know, these are the fun parts of winter marathon training. Or I guess spring marathon training, but you know what I mean? Training in the winter for spring, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you just like do it, you know? Like, I said this to my training crew recently, but my wrestling coach when I was in middle school, he used to have this sentiment when we'd get like really upset, and he would just say like, do you want to complain or do you want to get it done? And when you're like 13, you're like, well, I want to complain. But the reality is like, if you answer, I want to complain, I feel like he understood it. Like you like said more about yourself than you realized by answering that way. So obviously you just got it done. And that's basically it. So we're going to go get it done. Taking a gel now, a little caffeine, kickstart the old heart. Fudge, it looks cold outside. Probably end up pulling the, what am I trying to say? We'll probably end up pulling the phone out a little bit less during this workout, so apologies for no updates until maybe we're done, but it looks cold, so we're gonna have gloves. We just use knit gloves, so we don't want to pull our fingers out and have to use our phone and yada, yada, yada. But then I think we're gonna get sweet green for dinner, so. And then edit all night on a project that admittingly we've just been dragging our feet on. Ugh, stupid. I'm stupid. I'm not stupid, but I'm definitely doing this wrong. Okay, bye.
Doing so good, making up for miles just a little while like you would. Underestimating, you know you think we're doing so good. I'm glad to be a part of the class that you placed upon your withered heart, encased and left for danger, danger. In a race to the road on the way to apathy.
Why do I always start this without knowing what time it actually is? That was a bad precedent. Hold on. Open the old laptop. It is Saturday, 9:46 a.m. But we're slowly making our way. Walking slow. Yeah, but we're slowly making our way to getting out the door. Gonna take our carbs, our pre-workout. I think in years past, I probably would have just like gone to the gym. But the gym that I pay for has really bad treadmills. I actually need to stop paying for that gym. But, and so it just kind of just became this thing where it was like easier to just go outside. I have this like really strong, I mean, it's not like it's not, I'm sure a lot of people have this opinion, but I like truly believe like all marathon training should be done outside, just because that's like where the final thing is. And if you, like for me, I've felt like if I build a world around like being able to change my location based on the weather, that when it comes to race day, I'll be a little bit more worried about the actual weather on race day. And I know that there's like a bunch of reasons maybe why other people will go into the gym. And I'm not like passing judgment. I'm specifically just talking about my marathon experience. And I think that just goes for like almost any sort of environment of working out or running or training. Like if I have a track workout, don't want to do it on the treadmill. Even if I don't have a track, I'll find a space that allows me sort of that like open roadness, if you will. But I think that mindset, even like for the Copenhagen half marathon last year, it was raining. And instead of maybe like a few years back, I probably would have been like, well, I'm not gonna go outside or this or that. I like became resourceful and found a way to like keep my camera dry and photograph the race still. And then ultimately it like dried up. But I think just like having the mindset of like, you kind of have to stay outside regardless of what's going on. It is Sunday, February 8th. It's like 8:50. I have to get to our Sunday run. Just doing a little fit check here. A little half in type situation. Cold. Glasses. First pair on my stand. Always in motion. I feel like it goes well. Yeah? Go up top for a second. Cold. Also, when I put all my stuff in storage, I thought I'd be back with my stuff by winter. Wasn't. And so these are basically the only gloves I've had this winter. And now I'm feeling bamboozled by so many other pairs. These have been just fine. All right, let's go run.
Okay, all right, that was 2 miles down for the warm-up, and then it was 2x800 with a 400 meter jog recovery. Now we're getting into 2x400 with 400 in between, and then 2x400 again with 400 in between, but at different paces. And then we'll have a mile recovery home. So like 6 1/4 for the day.
Here to see the days roll.
Gang, we out here.
Treadmill never gonna see us coming.
Treadmill ain't never gonna see me.
Treadmill ain't
period.
never gonna see us coming. You doing all right?
Bro, yeah, how you?
I'm good, man.